Welcome back to Eye on Careers. In the last 2 years, this segment of our program has looked at everything from marriage counselors to maintenance technicians. But today we're going to take a look at an entertainment-oriented career that has experienced a major resurgence started by Roger Rabbit, The Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman, and even Dick Tracy. Now, do the names Fritz Freleng, Bob Kane, Stan Lee, and Jim Davis mean anything to you? Here to talk to us about a career as a cartoonist is Aaron Lakin, an accomplished cartoonist and caricaturist from right here on Long Island. Aaron has contributed to Marvel Comics, Cracked Magazine, and many other publications. His work has appeared on national television, in feature films, and countless advertisements. Now, we're going to take a look at a piece of video that should remind you of the impact cartoons have had on our society.
Cartoons have not only reflected our society, but have been a major influence upon it, showing how reality and fantasy live side by side.
When I was at Warner Brothers, I had people come over to visit the cartoon studio and say, "Where is the set that Bugs Bunny works on?" I think they believed that that character really existed somewhere. But in my mind, he really did exist, and I made a drawing of him. I made a cartoon drawing of him. But in my mind, that character exists somewhere.
Am I a stinker?
To me, the comic strip is simply a reflection of life today with a humorous twist. All I do is hold a mirror to life and show it back with that humorous bent to it.
Everything that Captain America did was current at the time. The characters were mirror images of the kind of characters that made the history of those times.
So there's a great influence of the times on the cartoonist, upon his own conceptions and the cartoonist's creations on our times.
There are a lot of what we call cartoon symbols that have become part of our folklore. Santa Claus came through as a cartoonist. Uncle Sam, you name it, Father Time, the New Year's Baby, were the creations of cartoonists.
Yes. Well? Well, after all, credit's where credit is due.
Okay, Aaron, welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit about that Cartooning of America thing we just saw.
Well, I'm currently producing a television special called Cartooning of America, which is a celebration of a century of comic art in America, showing how it reflects American culture and has a profound impact upon it as well.
All right, a couple quick things. Was it Roger Rabbit that caused the resurgence, or was it the conversion of the Batmans to celluloid that caused this resurgence in cartooning?
Well, I think Roger Rabbit had a lot to do with it, but I think the timing was right. I think that the baby boomers who have grown up with cartoons on television and in the media are now in the position today to make big corporate decisions, appreciate these cartoons, and putting it out there everywhere.
That's a very good point. And, you know, a lot of people can draw. I mean, I remember we all went to junior high school with someone that was really a talented artist, but how do you know if you're good enough to be a cartoonist at the professional level?
Well, it starts with doodling. I mean, if you have a very boring English teacher, it starts there. But if you really love the art itself and you practice enough at it, then I really feel that you could make it. You've got to really want to make it in this business.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think you're here to tell us, Aaron, how the hell we can do that. Okay. As far as training, where can you go to get this sort of training? Let's say you have the basic raw materials.
Well, there are certain schools out there. One comes to mind is School of Visual Arts, which actually started as a cartoonist illustrative school. They still have a lot of very, very good cartooning instructors there, and it's located in New York. There's also a school in New Jersey called Joe Kubert School, which is very dedicated to all facets of cartooning, and involved in the business end as well.
Interesting. All right. Now, let's say that you've got the basic ability. You're good, you're creative, you've got the artistic talent. How would you proceed to market yourself and go ahead and get a career this way?
The first thing to do is to get a good portfolio together. You have to be satisfied and confident in your product, first of all. Then you have to find out what your market is. You have to really hone in on the specialized area of cartooning you wish to go into. There's animation, comic strips, comic books, greeting card, it goes on and on. Once you have that direction, then you would find out who to contact, simply call them up, either make an appointment or drop off the portfolio. Basically, you're hitting the pavement.
Okay, and the job market, from what you had told me earlier, seems to be growing based on this resurgence.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of doors being opened up right now, and there's opportunities there, but because of the resurgence, there's more and more people that want to be a cartoonist.
Okay, now there are some trade magazines you mentioned to me, and we know that they're a good networking source. Can you give us a name?
Well, one is Cartoonist Profiles. They're located in Fairfield, Connecticut, and they occasionally list different syndicates and art directors to contact for jobs.
Okay, and how about salaries? See, I find that fascinating. I mean, you mentioned to me, I think it was Charles Schultz, right? He's
Yes.
the Peanuts?
In this business, you could go everywhere from the proverbial starving artist to being a Charles Schultz, who actually makes about $1 million a week. He is said to be the highest paid salaried employee in the country today.
No kidding. All right, and that would mean he'd make even more than our producer. All right, and a question, what about corporate advertising?
Well, corporate advertisers are now using a lot of cartooning because it catches people's eye. It's quick, it's entertaining, it really gets the point across in a very flavorful way, and everybody could really relate to it. So a lot of corporations are now using it, even corporations like Insurance MetLife, using the Peanuts, for instance.
Very interesting. And you mentioned also that when you try to get into this business, there are some pitfalls as well. What would you warn people to be wary of?
Well, artists are known for not having the best business sense in the world. Now, you just have to be careful in what you're signing. You just have to watch out for the contracts. There's certain work-for-hire agreements that would take over the artwork, the original, the first printing, and you could be taken to the cleaners if you're not careful.
Okay, Aaron, we don't want that to happen to any of Long Island's budding cartoonists, so we're going to put your phone number up there, and what we want you to do, if you would, is help people make these decisions and give them the best direction you can. Would you read that for us?
Sure. You can reach me at Filmark Productions at 935-8493.
Okay, and that's also if people want any work done as well.
Sure.
Okay, and I believe you had something you wanted to show me.
Yes. Do you know who this character is?
Yes, and you did that from a photograph. I did not pose for that.
I found the photograph in Long Island Business,
right,
and I decided to give you a little surprise here.
That is absolutely fabulous, and I'm sure anybody out there in the audience who even knows me is laughing because of the lips, and they know that you got it straight. And it looks terrific. And how long does something like that take you?
Well, if I'm out in the convention or out in the public, it usually takes about 4 or 5 minutes. But this one I took a little more time, about a half hour.
Okay, very good. All right, Aaron, I want to thank you very much for being with us today. And we are out of time. And until next week, folks, happy hunting.